What's up, everybody? Today I'm sitting down with Mr. Richard Daffron to get his thoughts leading into his upcoming fight on May 31st with HRMMA. How are you doing, man?
Doing good.
Awesome. I'm so thankful to have you here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come talk with me. Fight's a week out from today, actually, so I'm sure you're getting geared up for that. I know I am. I'm very excited for this card. I always like HR cards. Brandon does a great job. But I want to get started talking to you about kind of what got you into fighting. What was your breakdown of your fighting journey so far?
I've always fought, so I figured I might as well do it, legally instead of out here on the streets. So yeah, that's really about it. I've always been fighting, just doing it right now.
So when you started training and stuff, did anything kind of click with you more naturally than maybe some of the other stuff? Did you prefer like wrestling over striking, or?
I've always been a striker, man, but I lost my first two amateur fights to jiu-jitsu guys. So like I really been sticking in on my ground game and stuff while focusing on striking at the same time.
Looking at your topology, you're the only pro fight on this card. I like to see that Brandon brings all these smaller fighters in, and this will be both you and your opponent's second pro fight. How are you feeling coming into this week?
I feel really good actually. I'm always a little nervous right before the fight, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's gonna be a good scrap. I know dude's a wrestler, and I prefer to strike, so we're gonna duke it out, see how it goes.
When you're doing the lead up to the fight, do you ever think like you're gonna maybe take the fight in your direction, or do you like to adapt kind of to what?
I prefer to control the fight myself. I mean, a fight's a fight. It never goes as planned until you get up in there. So it's I always go in there clear headed and just we just get it on.
Talk to me a little about your training camp and your gym and stuff. How did you get started in? How did you find your gym?
I came back to my hometown, traveled down here, and joined up at a gym and been training with Alpha Boxing since I've been down here, and that's going pretty well. Going over to Gracie Jiu Jitsu here and there, and just doing road work. That's about it, really.
In your first pro fight, you fought Steve Collins, who I've actually got to sit down and talk to before. He's a tough dude. So, how was the shift in competition from your amateur fights moving into a pro fight? Did you was there anything that shocked you as you went up as the?
Not really, no. So, like, leading up to that fight, it was like on a 3 week notice. I just started a fresh gym and everything, and the guys were like, "Hey, you want to fight this guy in 3 weeks or whatever over in the yellow?" Sure, why not, man? And at first, for the fight, it was going decent, and then every fighter's worst nightmare happened. I ended up shattering my hand in like the second exchange. I was like, yeah. I didn't even know what was going on until like I got into a bad position. I couldn't put no pressure on it or nothing. So that was the only thing that surprised me is just shattering my hand. Other than that, I felt pretty well.
How do you feel like your camp's been this time leading in? Because I'm assuming you've had a full camp for this
Yeah.
fight.
Oh, it's going well. We made some improvements. I'm working on cardio and other aspects of my game, and we're excited for this fight. Oh yeah, I'm trying to scrap. A lot of my fights end in either the first round or like partially through the second or something. I'm just trying to scrap.
I'm sure it's exciting to be headlining a fight card. Can you talk a little bit about that? Maybe?
Um, Yeah, it's really nothing new for me. Like up north when I was fighting, my amateurs, like a lot of my amateur fights were co-main events. So like I'm kind of used to this at this point. It's just a matter of just getting the fight done and over with. I was sitting there waiting 15, 16 fights in, almost every event. It gets a little nerve-wracking, but I'm used to it.
Speaking of the nerves, is there anything you do kind of to like on fight day different than you do like kind of leading into the fight to calm your nerves or anything that to kind of settle you down, or do you?
I just focus on the game plan and stuff and just prepare really. And then once you enter the cage, the nerves aren't really there no more.
What's been your toughest fight that you've had, and kind of what made it tough, and what did you take away from that fight?
My toughest fight, I'd have to, I'd have to say it was my 170 amateur fight I had with Jeremy Landowski. That was tough fight, tough camp, tough weight cut. And then on top of that, I'm a light little dude in a heavier weight class. Fighting a guy twice my size almost, and it really showed me I needed to work on my cardio and dieting and stuff because I ended up, not stepping out in the second round due to my cardio and everything. So, uh, really, its main big focus for all my fights now is cardio and just lasting. If it ever goes past second, third round or something like that,
What's the toughest part of your camp when you're preparing for a fight?
running every morning. I run miles every morning.
Shoot, you go to work.
Yeah.
So you said you do road work. What are some other things that you do kind of outside of fighting that interest? Do you have any interest outside of fighting?
Not really. That's big focus of my life is fighting, and then my kid. Really, that's about it.
What do you think is your greatest accomplishment so far in the cage, and then what's your greatest accomplishment outside of the cage?
Greatest compass in the cage, and I made it. I made it professionally. I had a lot of people over the years tell me I wouldn't make it professionally and everything else, and now I'm making it professionally. Now it's time to get to even past that point. So now everybody's telling me I ain't going to make it big and everything, and now I've already proved you wrong once. So let's do it again. Outside the cage, it had to be my family for real, my kids. The blessing. The reason we keep kicking.
So obviously you don't want to look kind of past the fight in front of you as you're getting ready for this weekend, but all things go well this weekend. What are your plans moving through your career? What have you got kind of in mind that you'd like to accomplish?
I'm setting up the next fight as soon as possible.
You like to stay fairly active. I know you've got quite a few fights
Yeah, I tried
on
to.
your resume.
This last time I took a little bit of a layoff due to recovering from my hand and stuff, but I try to get in at least a fight every 2 months, 3 months or so.
With your hand, do you think that would cause any problems this time
No,
going into the fight or anything for
no,
your
it
recovery?
healed back pretty well.
You're traveling in for this fight. You're not Kentucky native, are you? I don't
I was
believe.
born and raised in Kentucky, but I've been up in Wisconsin for like 6, 7 years.
That's what I was thinking. So, you come down kind of the night before and kind of prep that way, or do you come in the day of? Or
I've been in Kentucky since February. You
I
know,
got you. Okay,
doing a little bit of side jobs and then training and stuff. So I wanted to get a fight down here while I was going to be down here.
awesome. Well, the last question I got for you today, I like to ask everybody because I like to get a feel for kind of stuff outside of fighting. What music you're listening to? What kind of what's your walkout song going to be if you got one in mind? Or
I'm old school rap, man. Like keep their heads ringing, Dr. Dre.
what's your favorite Dre album?
Man, shoot, Aftermath probably. That's
I enjoy
about
some
it.
Dre. I've got the 2001 on vinyl. I actually got last year, so I
Okay.
love some. But Richard, I really appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to see you fight this week. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out, or kind of
Yeah.
anything you'd like to say before you get off?
Shout out to my southern and northern team, southern team of Alpha Boxing with Cody Bennett and Joe Morgan, Joe LaDuff, and then shout out to my northern team, the Dringer Jiu Jitsu, with Lee Huell and Dusty Hagel, Mike Vespa, and then shout out to my personal trainer Steve Lehman as well. And ready to bring it to him Saturday, 1 week
I
out.
can't wait. I can't wait. Like you said, it's 1 week out from HRMMA 125, May 31st in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Come out and support an amazing card. There's a lot of amateurs coming out on this card. Give them some support, and then come out and support my man here, Richard. Can't wait to see you fight, and thank you again for coming on, brother.
Thank
I'll see you
you.
next week.
Yep, yep. Thank you.